Welcome to the Fit Affiliate podcast, where we talk about behavior and behavior-based conversations as they relate to CrossFit affiliate owners and coaches. My name's Lisa Hetherington, and I'm your co-host. Sitting alongside me are Tony and Chuck, the founders of Fit Affiliate. And welcome back to another episode of the Fit Affiliate podcast. And today, I am super excited to host Matt from CrossFit Orillia. He was the very first guest we had, so it's only appropriate that he's our first repeat visitor on the podcast. How are you, Matt?
I'm good, thank you. I feel like I have a lot of firsts with Fit Affiliate, and I'm probably the first to screw up a lot of the things we do as well. And I mean, the idea of giving stuff and like, well, Matt'll screw it up. That's a good way to stress test it.
Let's give it to Matt. He'll poke holes in it and he'll break it. Because
Yeah.
you were pretty much one of the first Fit Affiliate clients, weren't you? I think.
Number one, I was the first.
You were patient zero.
Yep. I think continuing on with first, I was pretty sure the first coach onboarded and all that stuff. So it's been cool. It's no idea things would get to there or rather to here, but no, it's been cool. I'm excited to be back on as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's good to have you back on it. It feels like we started the podcast just yesterday. I can't believe we've got more than 50 episodes in the bank, but from little things, big things grow, as we all know. So let's backtrack a little bit. You are the owner of CrossFit Orillia in Canada, beautiful part of the world. How have things gone in 2022 with Orillia? Like, what's changed for you? Your focus? I know you've had a lot of changes, even in just branding and positioning. So if you want to just give us a recap on, I guess, where you've taken it this year.
Yeah, no, it was this year has been wild, and so everyone in every part of the world had experienced lockdowns, but we, in different degrees. Some got a little sample of them. I feel for the gyms that got that had extended, like really long ones. We in Ontario had 4. And I mean, I tell you, like, don't tell anyone in the government this, but I'm fairly thankful for them looking back, because of it's a pressure cooker of like, let's just speed up everything. So I mentioned that because I believe we came out of our last lockdown in April. Again, very similar to the podcast idea. Is like, it just seems like last week. I've put it so far in the past, but with that, like, no, sorry, it was February when we came out of it.
That's we spoke it about March, so it was not long after.
Okay, yeah. So it was just after that. We started, a boot camp program for women over 40 to get them introduced into CrossFit. We've done a mom and baby program, a seniors program, which we call our Legends Lunch, and the gym has grown to from a membership standpoint to be the biggest it's ever been. Basically, what I mean is, I was like, we just went through 2 years of stop, go, that I was like, I'm going to, and this is my personality type, I'm going to go as hard as I can. And it's like, if you're going to I'm like the dog with the zoomies at the dog park, like, you take me off the leash, like I'm off. So,
yeah.
So we had that, and that's taken us to here. Like I said, we've had tremendous membership growth over the past year, essentially over 100 members from February, when we were at our worst through a lockdown, to now. So super thankful for that. We rebranded more, just with a new logo design, something to keep to freshen things up and give us a direction moving forward. And then one thing that really kind of hit me, and it's one of the things we preach in Fit Affiliate right from the beginning, is understanding your mission. What is the role of the gym, in itself, in the micro view, but in the macro view, in the community, and not in the community of like the members of your gym, but the community of the town that you live in. How are you impacting it? And so, I sort of had this epiphany where it was like, if we're gonna, I believe very, like, I'm pure CrossFit, like, it is the absolute best it can solve the world's most vexing problem. But I kind of had this epiphany of like, if we're not quantifying that in terms of like in the community, how we're impacting people, then we're really keeping the secret to ourselves.
Mm.
So wanted to really make an impact, and then in our town of Orillia, where the gym is located, we have what would be considered essentially a primary care crisis. So Ontario, Canada, and Ontario are on socialized health care, and all that means is you can just you can go to any hospital that's convenient to you, but
Mm.
you do have to have, you don't have to have a family doctor, but you can either go to a walk-in clinic, or which is for the public, or you can go to your family doctor, right? And
Mm.
that's very similar to a lot of places, but we just don't have HMOs or things like that. And we don't have essentially any doctors taking on new patients. And so
Wow.
yeah, so it's kind of like, it's a little sobering thing. And so anyway, we're like, I kind of am wrapping this all up together is, I'm like, we can help with that, with what we do and our belief in fitness. And so that became the mission. It became clear as day to use CrossFit as a vehicle to make our communities truly healthier, vibrant, and thriving, and measured by our community impact in terms of how many members we have. But are we engaging? If we're getting referrals from all the healthcare professionals in town, then we know we're contributing to the crisis, and hopefully, I
Mm.
don't want to say solve it, because that's a bigger thing, but it's kind of the white whale as well. So
That's
with
awesome.
that, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that's awesome. And, you recently made, or on behalf of Aurelia, made quite a large donation to a health facility.
Yeah, so and that was going to bring me into the next piece as we continue with all of the stuff we decided to do this year is I brought in a partnership as well. I have a new business partner. His name is Marcus. He's been a part of CrossFit Orillia since 2009, and
Wow.
this kind of shows how long he's one of the first members, first coaches. He's OG CrossFit, and CrossFit Orillia is a legacy. I haven't been a part of it that long, but he has. And he's an entrepreneur within the community as well. So, kind of thinking about me, I'm pretty introspective and self-aware, and I think about what my strengths and then what my weaknesses are. And it was like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And we moved fast and we reacted fast through 2.5 years of pandemic stuff. But
Mm.
now clearly I want to go far. So I approached Marcus with the vision that I just was telling you about. And he's like, yeah, and it was like a light, because he's been doing CrossFit for almost 15 years. And it was
Mm.
just like, he was just like, oh my God, I see it. Like, why aren't we doing that? Right.
Mm.
So we wanted to. So he owns a franchise called Mr. Sub, very similar to Subway, but I think Canadian only, for
Yep.
the listeners though. Maybe like a Jimmy John's, no different than that. But so he's an entrepreneur in the community as well. So very shared mindset that way. We bring different strengths and weaknesses, and we offset each other very well. But we were like, how can we make a big impact to say, hey, this is our mission and we're serious about it. And so in a way, money talks. And so we donated $20,000 to the local hospital foundation, to say, hey, we want to be a part of this conversation and we want to start getting people's attention. And so I was our two businesses together. So
Mm.
we are partners now in CrossFit Orillia, but CrossFit Orillia covered half, Mr. Sub covered half. And
Yeah, amazing.
yeah, and it's just to start opening doors and to say, hey, if this is what it takes to get some people's attention, then so be it. So
Yeah, and it's powerful to then realize now that you're in a position where you can use CrossFit and CrossFit Aurelia for the greater good, like not just to serve your members. So many affiliates are still at the point where they're just worried about them getting past day to day. But you've been able to expand your mission and now to go, we've got this. This is ticking by. This is humming. How can we help others now with the power of what we know CrossFit is?
Well, that's exactly right, and we get so, and I was in that space, even getting coached through Fit Affiliate. Like it is an evolution, but we get as affiliate owners so focused on the day to day, even just through the lens of the workout of the day, right? If we can become so narrow focused of like we look at we you judge Tuesday by what's the workout, right?
Yeah.
And then heaven forbid if you end up having to coach all day and all those things. So it's kind of like what we preach at Fit Affiliate, with the beginning, which is our four horsemen, and where we try to go over, what is your core values, your mission, your just cause, and there's one more, and I'm gonna probably get suspended for not remembering it off the top of my head. But then we think about the freedoms, like the freedoms of time, the freedoms of money, the freedom of relationship, and trying to deliver those things. And freedom, I think, gets mixed up in the sense of like being able to do whatever you want. And in this case, maybe it is, but like the freedom of money is being able to use it to help support another cause and move along, right? And so you can get so narrow focused, and then I think that's where burnout starts to happen is because we get so laser focused on just straight ahead, and if we don't peel back and expand the field of view, then there's not enrichment, because the challenge is like just like a workout, right? Like the challenges never get necessarily easier. You can just take on more. And so that still comes day to day and week to week, but I'm like so focused on now, or inspired, I guess is the word, to be like, no, what we do is bigger than that.
Yeah, and there's so much potential between the doors of every affiliate. Just even on that micro level, is to save and change lives and keep people out of the healthcare system for longer. But also then, yeah, when you realize that you have the freedom to contribute and to help another just cause or another mission because it aligns with your values, that's a powerful decision that you get to make, because you do have the freedom to not, but you then go, no, this is my set of values and this aligns and this is what I want to do. And it is that ability to go, what's my purpose now? What's my greater purpose? I've got freedom to choose any purpose I want. I could sit on a beach drinking Mai Tais, or I can, actively work and go, what else can we do to contribute, rather than thinking, well, the affiliate's pretty successful, I'm just going to sit back and, just take it easy now. I've worked hard for this.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it's again, those freedoms of you can do whatever you want with it. But I don't even want to say, I mean, obviously it would be affiliate owners and coaches listening to this, but it's affiliate owners, it's entrepreneurs, and then zooming out more, it's just people's natural human nature to quote unquote self-sabotage. So one of the, and in a different way than I think is discussed mostly in the like the kind of mindset space. One of the things we do at Fit Affiliate is, as part of the model, is we're not giving anyone a system, but we do want to make things easier for them, right? And as coaches, we guide the affiliate owner to a way that helps them do the thing that businesses are supposed to do, aka make money. It's not a bad word, but do it in a way that's easy, not hard, right? So what happens is, when that does happen, is all of a sudden when things are easy, there's kind of this like, oh, I need to somehow make this hard. You see where I'm going with it? Is like affiliate owners have this great this, and myself included, right? I'm like,
totally
slap myself on the hand, but we all of a sudden find a way to sneak ourselves back in to make it hard, right? And so we try to break that as much as possible. And so whether it is a mission or through the core values, but can you bring a team in that's going to push you out of the way so you don't do that?
Mm,
And then what distractions do you need? You know,
mm,
I think, and it's like even zooming out to the macro sense of like Greg Glassman, he had his mission and he was like, hey, CrossFit's, I don't know that anyone's really, and maybe someone has articulated this way, but like he had CrossFit running and everything was great. It wasn't obviously without its faults. That's not the
mm,
point of the discussion. But he moved on to things like Big Sugar and
mm,
health and whatnot. And there was a lot of naysayers who were like, he shouldn't be distracted with things like that. He should be supporting us. And it's like, no,
mm,
Greg Glassman as the figurehead should be putting people in place, and then
mm.
he gets out of the way so he can use his mission and core values to support the greater good that's maybe beyond the scope of the people below him.
Yeah, and that's I actually haven't heard that framed in that way. So, and you're absolutely right. He's like, well, here's the thing. Now I have the freedom to go pursue other things that still align with my just cause, my mission, and my values. And he was very clear on what he wanted. And this big thing over here, CrossFit's going to support, me being able to pursue these other things, and they all link up in the ecosystem. So I think that that's really, a perfect example. And people traditionally don't understand that sort of concept of, well, you've built this thing. Why are you looking at these things? And are they just shiny lights? You should just have your sole focus. You should be, as affiliate owners, and I've been guilty of it as well in my time in the gym, of being addicted to the suffering. It's like you should be doing every class and 18-hour days and hustle and grind and the whole thing that you're fed through the gurus, I guess, that, is to work harder. And it's a really difficult concept for some people to understand when they see you living a life of freedom. They're like, well, you must be cheating, or you're not doing it right, or you don't care as much because you're not as engaged. But that's not the case.
No, it's exactly right. And because especially maybe like owners early on in their journey, doing all those things, they get more coaches and then they coach less classes. And then what happens is it starts to creep in terms of like, oh, we don't see you as much. You're not
Mm,
around as much. And those are the kind of those traps that pull you back in. But you almost have to work through that to know that, again, any good coach knows to give their client what they need sometimes rather than what they want. And, we went through that evolution as I through 20 between basically this whole pandemic still, went from, I think, seven or eight coaches to we're just up to about 12 coaches,
yeah,
right? And
wow.
so, we're trying to, I want to give people the opportunity to do what I like to do, and that's spread the CrossFit gospel. It frees me up to move the mission. But one of the things I've really tried to push is that CrossFit Orillia, even though it says it on my display name, is not me. It's not tied to Matt. Because what
Mm,
happens when Matt is either fallen ill, or worse, or just goes on a well-deserved vacation, right? Like,
yeah.
it should be bigger than that. And so that was part of the brand that we did. I don't have a logo with me, but we used the wolf pack, or sorry, a
Mm,
wolf head, because I was like, the wolf head symbolizes a pack, and I'm very much a lone wolf, but I do better in a pack like any wolf does. But I've constantly tried to ingrain it into my coaches that you all, like, CrossFit Orillia is the collection of
mm,
people. It's because I think, you survey some members of different gyms, and it's like, it's Jen's gym, it's Steve's gym, it's,
mm,
for us, it was James's gym, then it was Mike
mm,
and Maria, and then it was Matt. Like, when people would come in, it was the ultimate compliment. But a new member would come in and chat, and they'd be like, so and so said you had to go see Matt. He's like,
mm,
he's amazing. You got to go see Matt. And while that can stroke the ego, it doesn't help the business because it's me, not the brand, right?
Mm,
So that's kind of the idea of building a brand, is the sense that it should be. Someone told me to go see CrossFit Orillia,
yeah.
right?
And organically, when most affiliates start, they're quite small. You do have to have that central role, and it's hard to transition out of that. And I went through similar process to you, as when I started to move more out of it being around everything revolved around me to it being okay for it to revolve around everyone else. But then some still get stuck in that space where it's like, this is my gym. This is, you know, here for, to meet, to help put food on my family's table kind of thing, rather than making it bigger than or about more than just them in that space, and realizing how limiting that is. Because as humans, we only have so many hours in the day. We all have the same hours in the day, but capacity and bandwidth to actually, give the time and attention to the things that matter.
Yeah, exactly, right. And even the idea of like Dunbar's law
Mm,
of 150 relationships, and I've come to appreciate that number quite well, because I've surpassed it, and I've seen what happens is some personal relationships. They've not become negative in any way. They've just become maybe stale or something, and that's
mm,
completely my fault. So there is that, there's obvious the self-limiting beliefs, but there's scientific limitations that come into play as well. But one of the epiphanies I had is especially the pandemic wasn't any help for this, because we had to react very quickly. I found myself doing a lot of things, and
mm,
this was actually while I was, I was been coached through Fit Affiliate for a long time, and then even as a coach, I was still making some mistakes again, as of myself doing too much. And then it kind of hit me like a sack of bricks, where I thought I was on the island. I was alone on the island because I was doing so much. And then what I kind of realized was I put my coaches on the island. I marooned them. I marooned them to stay there. And I kind of was the one on land moving about, being like, oh, I'm involved in all this stuff. And
mm,
I didn't give them the opportunities to do the things that they love to do. And so the boot camp was one of them. So it's just essentially an introduction to CrossFit. We just call it a boot camp because, purely from a marketing standpoint, someone would rather sign up for a boot camp than CrossFit.
mm.
It's just been
Way
proven.
less threatening, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. For some reason, people know that term better. They come in and we're like, you're doing CrossFit, right? And they're like, yeah, and it's great. It's been amazing. And it was so much fun, because it was introducing a subset of population, women over 40, that they can find a space that's comfortable for them, a community, all the things that we know
Mm,
CrossFit is. And
mm,
I almost fell into the trap of being like, I'm just going to do this from now on. But
yep,
it became a very great opportunity to train a different coach to become passionate, and not even taking a coach who does classes. This became an onboarding system for a totally new coach to who was passionate, and she's a lady in her 40s.
mm,
Um, and she was like, I want to help people like me. Right. So it was her inspiration. And then it became something that she had. And then now we've actually brought in another coach in training as well through this avenue. So if I
mm,
had stayed on there, I would have been keeping Katie on the island, and then
mm,
not even having room for another person. But by me getting out of the way, yeah, I got it rolling. But by me getting out of the way, I've created an opportunity for two more people to do all the amazing things that CrossFit coaches do, for an amazing set of population that is completely and utterly underserved. And
yep.
it's been extremely financially viable. So it's like, bam, all the boxes are checked.
It's ticked. And and also the sense that you're giving the gift to the coaches to do something, so they, I mean, as the owner, and when you start things up, you get the reward of doing good work, and feeling like you're making a difference by you handing this off to them now. That you give them the opportunity to experience that. Whereas if you didn't let them in, then they miss that opportunity to experience that feeling and get that gift, because it is a gift to have that moment where you're like, I'm making an impact on multiple people's lives and in tangible ways.
Exactly. And then so again, it all always comes back to what we start with. And it's no day I resonated with Fitfiliate so well, and then as a Fitfiliate coach, is because Fitfiliate is designed to run in complete parallel with the affiliate model and
Mm,
with the CrossFit's methodology of fitness and whatnot. So, again, as Greg says, once you feel like you've mastered the details, go back and begin again, and this time in more detail.
yeah.
And so what I'm preaching to my affiliate clients is like, reopen your four horsemen document. It's
Mm,
the document they fill in either week 2 or 3. It could be 12 weeks down the road. It's like, reopen that and realign with that. And it's like, sometimes it does take a be like, oh yeah, okay, I need to stay
mm,
focused on this. But in doing so, again, if our mission is to impact the most amount of people possible with CrossFit, again, I can only impact so many people. But now I have 2 more soldiers who impact exponentially more people, which
mm,
aligns with the mission, right? So we circle back to the guiding principles and use it as a way to plan it from there. And that's why all we do is we don't tell, we ask a lot of questions, and are
yeah.
trying to help guide affiliate owners to the answers they know that are in front of them.
And that's been the powerful thing, I think, about the fit affiliate model, and is that it's not about well, here's best practice, you go do that. The first question it is what do you want your affiliate to be? Like,
Right.
what do you want it to look like? Okay, we're going to help you get there. So, circling, let's go back to, 2020 when you started working with Fit Affiliate. What led you to the point of going, I need to work with, I need someone to help guide me in where I want to be? What sort of drove that decision for you?
Yeah, so for me it was knowing that I needed someone, right? Like, and so my answer or story may be different from others, and maybe the same, and maybe because I didn't necessarily need one at the time,
Mm,
which is probably when most people realize they do need one. and I
yeah.
and I'm talking about like a business coach, right? And so
Yep.
um I followed a lot of them in the space, and my whole thing is like to look for patterns, and whether it's movement patterns in class or personal training or just patterns around behaviors. But um, I know of all the different people in the affiliate space that help affiliate owners, and I'm like, they probably exist for a reason. They
Mm,
wouldn't be who they and where they were without being able to be pretty valuable. So I,
mm,
I got in, and I was like, again, knowing my strengths, weaknesses, and issues, we'll call it. I kind of was like, I took over the affiliate in September of 2019, and then by about, I think, yeah, it was February when I signed up. But I was like,
mm,
I better get a business coach now
mm,
before I really need one. Right.
yep.
I was like, I better have someone. And this was right before the pandemic, purely coincidental, all that other
Mm,
stuff. But it was like, I better get one, because I know that, I mean, I coach people. Like, I know the
yeah.
power of coaching. I
Mm,
better get one before I need one. And
yeah.
then, um, I can't, it's been so long now. I don't know what led to purely the decision of Fit Affiliate. I think it was the idea of that. It was like, we're not gurus, and we don't give you just a system to run through, but we just make you
Mm.
better through coaching. And yeah, the rest is history.
It's history. And, as coaches, I think we're drawn to that. And that's what drew me to Fit Affiliate as well. I think I was probably about 4 or 5 months behind you, jumping on as a client. But, you know, a lot of the content that they would put out, I would like, are they in my gym? Are they like looking over my shoulder, like feeling attacked today? Like that's definitely something I'd been thinking about. And after enough time passed, you're like, yeah, it feels like that these could be my people. and these could help me. I was one of the affiliates who went there when I really felt stuck and needed help, not like
Mm.
as a preemptive thing. Like I felt like we had come through COVID fairly, okay. But it was like, I just feel like I don't know what I need to know to move forward. Little did I know that they weren't going to tell me what I needed to know to move forward. It was a lot of, but why? Or why is this important? And why does this matter? And what else? Lots of questions that lead you to realize, oh, I do actually know. And I think one of the powerful principles as well is that, Chuck and Tony, as the founders of Affiliate, understand how lonely it can be as an affiliate owner if you are a sole operator, that, you can't necessarily, you can go home and, kick the dog and kick the cat and tell your spouse about, the shitty interactions you've had in the day, but no one's truly going to get it. And you don't have a space to really just go, I feel like I'm failing, or I feel like I'm not, doing, I'm not where I should be. And they hold that space beautifully. Like, they'll just sit there and listen patiently and won't make you feel bad, even if you do make a dumb decision. It's like, okay, well, how do we work with that now? Like, how do we move forward? And that's a very different model to what's out there, where it's very much, here's what we've learned is best practice, go do that. Here's all the information, here's all the answers, here's everything we know, which can be overwhelming and might not fit, which is hard.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because, I liken it, whether this is true or not, to like yo-yo dieting in a way. Is you lose the weight. Most folks will do maybe a nutrition challenge, or maybe they'll do some sort of meal plan, whatever that looks like, right? They survive a certain amount of time doing a certain thing for long enough to see results. Life gets easier. But if we don't change, as we know in nutrition, if we don't change the habits, nothing will stick, right? So no, there's other places that give gyms systems to run, and the systems work, right? And it's very, it's not easy or hard to give an affiliate owner a system, but it can happen. You can say, here, do this, and things at the affiliate will get better. And that's what happens. If an affiliate owner signs up with a certain service provider, it doesn't matter which one, they are more than likely going to get better, just in the same way that when someone joins your CrossFit gym, they're going to get fitter.
Yeah.
But unless we change the habits that are outside of those things, that will only last for so long, right? So what I'm saying is you do the said system, life at the gym gets better, and then things get easier. And then what do people in nature do?
Yeah,
They screw it back up again, right? And that's the thing. And so it's like, and so there's some affiliate owners who have tried everything, who have tried all the systems. And as Tony likes to say, if you've tried everything, it means you've tried nothing. And then that's when we come in. If we fix the person who's pulling all these dials and the wheels, aka ourselves, the affiliate owners, and then, hey, once you get it working well, the most important thing to do is don't touch it.
You have to leave it alone.
Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Don't do anything. Go do something else, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's like the kind of, maybe the idea of like wealth creation, is wealth creation is an amazing tool, but it becomes a very worthwhile distraction for someone to not screw up the thing that's now fulfilling them in a certain way. There's many ways to look at that, but you take what the affiliate now does for you and you reinvest it into something like maybe real estate or corporate real estate, or you buy your building or do something. But now you're like, oh, now that I'm getting this tertiary benefit from this now thing, my business, which is an asset, I better not screw it up.
Yeah.
But again, what happens? We stay in it. Profits are coming. All of a sudden, we accumulate a bunch of cash. I'm going to buy 6 ski ergs. Right.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with buying 6 ski ergs. But again, you got bored and distracted, and, lease the 6 ski ergs and keep the cash flow. Do something. But, you know,
It's
it's like, oh, well, now I have a cash flow problem because my taxes are a lot higher at the end of the year because I did so well. But I spent that cash on something because I was bored and I didn't have it. Right.
and
So,
you'd think that that would solve the problem, and I remember it was a running joke, even in our mastermind group with the Avengers, is that, Lisa had all the templates, but I never actually did anything with it. I invested a lot of time in courses and the gurus, and Chuck and Tony would say, well, we'd be talking about something. Oh no, I've got a system for that. I've got a template for that. And like, are you using it? And it's like, well, no, but it's a beautiful document, and I was forever guilty of creating things. And even today, like in my, even as a fit affiliate coach, I still get coached as a client. Tony will say, why are you creating something else? You don't need to create more. Like, what you've got's working. Like, don't keep being busy. Like, focus on the one thing that you need to be doing, not just creating things. Because sometimes you feel like the more things I create, I've actually done something. Look at what I've done today.
right.
Rather than, having that someone to put the brakes on and go, whoa, 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 that's a beautiful spreadsheet you created, but is it moving you towards where you said you wanted to be? This is what, who you said you wanted to be. Are your behaviors aligning with that identity of who you want, who you see yourself? And it's like, oh, did it again,
Well,
didn't I?
well, and very, very coincidentally, the shirt I'm wearing is um, this is from Diesel Days from a
Yeah.
previous podcast guest,
Mm,
Tosh. So, I'll briefly tell this. It's a cool story, and it tie.
mm,
I think I'll hopefully tie it all together. But the funny story is, again, Tony and mine and Tony's first conversation was sometime in February over Zoom, and we chatted, and he sold me into Fitfiliate, and the rest is history. We only met in person for the first time this past September at
mm.
the Denver airport because we were both going to Diesel Days. And so we drove, we were in the rental car, we were hanging out, talk weekly, but first time in person. And then when the event started, we were in separate groups. And there's group A and group B, and I can't give away all the particulars, or
Mm.
Tosh will hunt me down. But
That's not what you want.
yeah, no. So uh, anyway, I bring it up because we were in separate groups. Tony and I didn't get to interact for very long in person because we were constantly just two ships passing in the night. Anyway, in Diesel Days, Tosh talks about the left hand and the left hand material, and it's so powerful. Hopefully, he can get on in a follow up, and maybe he mentioned it in his podcast.
Mm,
But the one is the ring finger is essentially our goalposts, right? And that one clued into me afterwards. Like he said, he said that the material will sink in weeks or months after. And
mm,
that happened entirely afterwards when I realized, holy shit, I moved my own personal goalposts during Diesel Days.
mm,
I had a goal in mind, and then it changed my goal to just simply being satisfied with finishing,
mm,
right? And it came because he sent out a follow-up email 2 weeks later, and he mentioned that about we move our goalposts, and then what happens is the people around us support that
mm,
because of the perception of something being hard or hard to do.
mm,
So I moved my goalpost to just being happy with finishing the event, not achieving the thing that I wanted to achieve during it.
mm.
And I got home, and all I had was people telling me how crazy and wild, and I can't believe you did that 24 hours. Holy smokes, you're amazing, blah, 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 blah. And then it hit me when Tosh sent out that email, was like, they're just affirming me moving my own goalposts.
Mm.
So we use things that are hard as a distraction away from that. So what I'm saying is just like you were saying, is we as affiliate owners can set a goalpost, and then we can move it pretty quickly, and then we'll use the idea of owning an affiliate is hard,
Mm,
coaching is hard, caring all day when we don't have anything to care about, that's all hard,
mm.
right? And there's really no one to say, I understand that, I hear that, but you still didn't do the thing that you planned to do.
Mm.
And sometimes we need that.
Yes. Oh, very much so. And that's been that was a huge part of my early journey as a client, when I was still in the affiliate, was like, well, you said that this was really important to you, which, you know, links back to how we would coach our members in the gym as like somebody, it's like, I don't want to do burpees and thrusters anymore. I'm out. Well, hey, you said it was really important that you were feeling good by the time you turned 50 and, you know, had the ability to walk your daughter down the aisle when she got married. Is that no longer important to you? Because your behaviors and your actions aren't equaling that. And that was a big shift for me, is they're like, well, you said this was really important. This was your sole focus, but you're off running around chasing chickens over here. Like, that's not aligning. That's not going to get you any closer. So why are you doing that? Oh, this just felt hard and uncomfortable. So I was kind of just shiny objects, quick wins. I went, exactly. So once I became aware of that behavior and that tendency, I'm now super aware of even myself now when I'm doing something like, oh, hang on a minute. I know what I'm doing here. And I've moved it. And you do move your own goalpost because there's no one to keep you accountable. And that's what we do for our members as coaches. What, you and I do for our clients as fit affiliate coaches is that accountability. So as an affiliate owner, why don't we need that accountability? Which, we definitely do have that person to answer to say, well, you said this would be done by this date, but you haven't done it.
Right.
Like, why? Whereas normally it's like, oh, no one knows if I don't, do the social media calendar this month, like I'll just swing it. It's like, well, no, you've got someone to answer to. Which,
and I had, very coincidentally, I had one of those moments early on as we were going through tremendous growth at the beginning, and I think we added 8 members in 1 week, and we do one-on-one sessions with our new members. So I was doing all of them. So, I banged out like 20 intro sessions in a week or something, and and then the following week I had no new members. And so I said, I was like, it's okay, no new members this week, that's okay because, we had 8 last week, so it's good to take a little break. And then I forget what Tony, you laugh because you know what the answer is coming. I truly forget what Tony said, but it was truly impactful. And it was something along the lines of like, the business numbers don't care. Right. So what we do is, yes, we don't really give you a bolt-on system to do, but we measure success in a business no different than how we measure fitness. Right. Because someone will have unique goals, and maybe it is walking their daughter down the aisle without pain, or without getting out of breath. That's a very specific goal, but we know as health coaches that there are markers that we need to improve upon. Right. Whether it's the 10 general physical skills, whether it's body fat, triglycerides, hemoglobin A1C, those things need to be improved no matter what. How they get improved is really where we meet the person. Right. And so we want to make, the reason of fit affiliate is we want to make the affiliate fit. And we have measurements of affiliate fitness. How well does it grow? How many clients are you losing? What is your profitability? What is your team? Are they assets? Like, we have those things that are measurements of affiliate fitness. But every affiliate is free to set their own way of doing it. And we do that through coaching the person through the accountability. And it was like, and that's where, again, we can have a plan for what we want your growth to be. And then it doesn't happen for 2 months in a row. And it's like, well, why? And then there's 2 conversations that can have, be like, here's why, and here's how I can do better. Or, maybe we're happy. We didn't want to get to 150 members. We realized maybe that's going to be too many for our space, and we'd have to get new this and that. And we'd be better off doing having 118 members and staying at that. Be like, okay, you just moved the goalposts and found a whole bunch of reasons to justify it,
Mm,
right? And that's moving, as long as it's done well, going from 118 to 150 members and maybe to 175 now is the steps that's needed to free you from what you're
mm.
doing and take you to the next level. It could be wanting to be on seminar staff, it could be wanting to invest or start a second location. It doesn't matter, but
Mm.
we want to get those things out of the way early and work towards them and keep our eyes focused on them.
Yeah, because it's very easy to get distracted with the little fires that pop up every day. And you don't, when you come to the realization that you don't need to be the person to put out all those fires, in fact, there's probably somebody who can put them out better than you. You start, finding, people and giving them opportunities to live their best life through being involved and helping you. So your journey into being, a fit affiliate coach, like you said, you're probably the first coach onboarded, and so that I guess was a new process for the guys as well. But what have you found as one of the most rewarding aspects, I guess, of making that transition, into now a coaching role with Fit Affiliate?
Yeah, the rewards are come in a couple different ways, and one of which is just when I see someone breaking through the thing that I've been through, then
Mm,
that's very rewarding. And again, seeing their gratitude especially because it is a very delicate system, is we're sometimes guiding someone towards something they don't think they want,
mm,
and they get there and they're like, oh my god, this is amazing, thank you for that, right?
mm,
And so, but then like just like again, no different than coaching a class, it's more the little wins, it's the little like it's the little messages in our weekly check-ins or at the end of a
mm,
call, or when they express the gratitude and you're like, oh man, just like we can get caught up in the workout of the day, and full transparency, sometimes I can get caught up in calls. Maybe I coached 3 classes and ran right into a client call, and but then I'm like, ah, dang, that was pretty dang cool. Like,
mm,
so whether it's guiding someone towards something they didn't think they could do, whether it be hire a person, get a head coach, start a new building, or
mm,
whether it's just the little notes of gratitude along the way,
mm.
it all is amazing.
Yeah, it's a privileged and powerful seat to have, and I'm grateful for the opportunity that I had to dip into this space, because it's really funny when you understand a lot of what you went through, because sitting one step back, you're not emotionally attached to that affiliate. And I know that I've been talking to clients and where, holy shit, that was me 3 years ago. And I know it's so much better this far forward. And I want to help them, compress time and not have 3 years of learning to get to, this great feeling. It's like, let's move you faster towards what I know is better on the other side of this. Because I see you, I've walked that path. So let's, without telling you what to do and, saying, look, here's how I solved it. Well, it took me 3 years to solve it. How do we work together to help you compress time? And, it's no different to going from a 6 minute Fran to a 3 minute Fran. Like, it's possible. So why not? If I'm just going to teach you how to do my 6 minute Fran and tell you how I did it and my pacing and my strategy, that's not going to help you get to your 3 minute when that's, highly possible. And just seeing that growth and that transition where you see them change, that moment. There's one moment in every coaching relationship, and we see it with our members in the gym, but you just see that moment where they flick the switch and they become this
Mhm.
different sort of person. And we still revert back to old behaviors and patterns because we're people with lizard brains, but generally you see that switch, and it's quite a powerful thing to like be part of. And you realize that it's through having the right conversations and asking the right questions that they're taking ownership and getting to where they want to be, because we're not saying, no, make this square peg fit your round hole. So trim it and adjust it so then it's not the same. It doesn't work the same. And people wonder why things don't work. It's like, well, you're not, a huge box, for example, like Mayhem or CrossFit New England. So maybe what they do isn't going to work for you. And if you trim it and adjust it, it's going to work even less, because you might have cut out something important that you weren't aware of. So I think that's been the important part of the journey, is helping affiliate owners realize the power of what they do and how important they are, and their uniqueness, and giving them a space.
Absolutely. Right. And it just comes down to asking why and over and over again and drawing clarity to that.
Yeah, for sure. So, as we sort of get to the end of wrapping this up, I guess for you, like as an affiliate owner, and you've very aware of the space and what people are doing out in affiliate land. If you knew of an affiliate owner who's sort of sitting on the fence and going, well, I don't know what I need to do. Do I need help? I don't need help. Where do I want to be? How do you guide them in making a decision to seek out? And I'm not just talking about Fit affiliate, but seek out,
Mhm.
the right coach or mentor for what you need.
Yeah, it's a good question in the sense of, like you said, is like, I think the biggest thing is, do we need help? Right.
Mm,
And like, I don't need help. Things are going good. But I guess I can say is just how much better things are with help.
mm,
Right. And like, whether it's Fit affiliate, or whether it's affiliate you or Stu Brower or anyone, like, find the help that works for you. But there's elements that we could all do better. Again, like, thinking about we'll kind of bookend it with this, is like I said, is like, I think I had 150 members at the time, which I know is kind of rare air, and I don't take that for granted in any stretch. But because I know some affiliates would just, that's their dream.
mm,
And again, if we truly believe in the power of CrossFit, because you have to be a CrossFit affiliate, and Fit affiliate only works with affiliates. But if you truly believe in CrossFit's ability, then we had 150 members, and I did the math of like my town, and I don't live in a big town.
mm,
And I was like, this is less than 1% of the population. This is a half of a percent of the community. And sure, maybe you could expand that out to like, okay, I'm impacting a half a percent, but through their secondary relationships, we're impacting maybe 2.5%. But it's like,
mm,
when you quantify it like that, it's like, holy smokes, I haven't even begin to scratch the surface
mm,
of what we can do. And then from that, going from that scarcity mindset to that like growth mindset, it's like, it doesn't matter how many affiliates there are around you, there is
mm.
more than enough to go around. If
Yeah.
you took 1% of the pie, there is still more than enough to go around,
Mm,
right? And so working with someone will help you understand that and get towards that, because
yeah.
what we do at affiliates is so damn profound, it's so damn powerful, that it's not selfish, but maybe it is, to not be kind of pushing out and trying to say, hey, how can I optimize this as
Mm,
much as possible? Again, how can I thrive as an affiliate and help my community rather than survive?
yeah. And that's, probably a perfect note to end it on, is we want to help more affiliates thrive and not just survive, and to know that, what they're doing is truly valuable. And on the other side of that, there's, you know, profound goodness for everybody. Like everybody wins. Whether it be, what's that saying? A rising tide lifts all ships. Like if, a couple of affiliates are crushing it, then that's going to lift the standard for everyone, rather than going, well, I can never compete with them. Well, don't compete. Just, be your best and do the best. Stop competing and looking at what everyone else is doing. And just, everyone can be part of this journey together.
100%. Exactly.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Matt. I really enjoyed catching up with you again. I know that we still talk regularly anyway, but this has been fun to get you back on. I think we did. Um, we've got our flow down a bit smoother. I think this is a way better
Nice.
episode than what we way back at the start.
No, yeah, it's good. And I mean, again, because of so much has happened within
Mm,
myself and Fit affiliate and my affiliate and the relation. It's 2020 is a cool year, you know. Is I just get I hated so much like people starting to like just like categorize the year as something
Mm,
like, yeah, the pandemic hit in 2020 and that was a shit show for everyone. But now all of a sudden, like, oh my God, is this year going to be terrible? Like I said, I
yeah,
look back on all of those and we went through some shit, man. But
yeah,
each one of them was better. Like, they were pretty dang good years. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, so no, it was fun, and I appreciate you having me on, and I ramble a lot, and so and my clients have to deal with that as well. But
Well,
hopefully there's some things within the rambling that are valuable to people.
not rambling at all, and I've really enjoyed the chat, and I always enjoy your insights. So, thanks very much, and I'm sure we'll have you back for a third. But go forth, enjoy your day, mate.
Thank you, Lisa. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, my friend, for listening to the Fit Affiliate podcast. If you would be interested in hopping on a free call with us to just kind of chat about what you think your problems are and what you think the gap is between where you're at and where you want to go, we can see if maybe we can help you along that journey, figure out if we're all a good fit to do some sweet things together. So click the link, set up a consult. Let's help you identify some problems that we can mutually solve.